Hello there, I'm SDG and welcome to part 2 of the meta change video series. Now this is the final part. The last part primarily talked about what the meta change and what I think the meta change will be about and what specific weapons will shine. But in this video, this will be a specific little, prediction or inference to which weapons are going to do the best in Warzone when that December 10 deadline comes. So yeah, stay tuned, watch the entire video so you know exactly which loadouts you probably want to start off with or level up in Cold War right now before December 10th. Now before the video starts, if you are interested in Call of Duty news, tips and tricks, and strategies, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on any new content I drop specifically about those key factors about Call of Duty. Now let's get into the contents of part 2. So quick disclaimer, all of these loadouts are pretty much just going to be primarily filled with ARs. And by the way, these aren't just loadouts like the best loadouts you want to use for Warzone. That video is probably going to be coming on December 10th, really, because I'm not completely sure yet if we'll be able to mix and match perks through Warzone, and also I want to see how wildcards play in Warzone. But until then, I'll just be giving you guys specific weapons in this video, and those specific weapons best loadouts you probably want to be using for Warzone. So just keep that in mind so you don't get confused with loadouts versus the specific gun class setups. So for the first one, it goes to my current favorite AR, and that will be none other than the Krig 6. For the Krig 6, this is of course going to be a little different than multiplayer. But it's just one attachment that's different, but I'll get into that later. For now, I obviously put an optic on this gun, not the best iron sights, especially since you'll most likely be using this more long range. You probably want to run a Vision Tech 2 times, but I would most likely run this gun with a sniper rifle or a tactical rifle as a nice little sidearm. And for that case, I use the mill stop. But if you guys are planning to use this on a primary weapon, go ahead and put on the Vision Tech 2 times, as it helps quite a bit with the recoil control. I feel as though the recoil is much less with the Vision Tech, so you can go ahead and try that out. Now for the barrel, I'm using the 19.7 takedown. Usually, on this gun at least, I would be using the 19.7 Ranger. I use the Ranger in multiplayer because of the added bullet velocity. As I said before in previous videos, the bullet velocity is probably the most important part when it comes to attachments, because, or at least in multiplayer, because when it comes to bullet velocity, it's how fast the bullet reaches the target. There is a huge difference in which, if for example you put a bunch of attachments that take away bullet velocity, well, you'll feel like you're in a laggy lobby. You'll feel like you're lagging or you're getting connection interruption because the bullet flies so slow. As long as you maintain bullet velocity, at least in multiplayer, you'll stay lit. But same goes for Warzone, but to an exception, especially because this weapon won't really let you mix and match the damage range and bullet velocity. I'm most likely just going to stick with the 150% effective damage range of the 19.7 inch takedown. So that's the attachment I'm using, the takedown. And I use that because of the effective damage range boost. And when it comes to Warzone, really the damage range you have to get, when it comes to, if you're going to use this primary wise, you have to reach really far engagements. And with the possible map change I've gone over, there's a high chance you're gonna need to use a effective damage range attachment. That's why I'm using the takedown instead of the Ranger. But of course you guys can mix and match. This is the best possible for the Warzone from what I'm thinking, from what my preferences and also predictions are. So yeah. Now for the underbarrel, I'm using the Field Agent Grip. As I said before, this gun has some horizontal recoil. This helps a lot with the horizontal recoil as it reduces it by 20%, which is amazing, and also helps with the vertical recoil control, which is which is also nice, although this gun doesn't have much vertical recoil. Now for the magazine, I'm using the Salvo 50 round fast mags. This is the same as I use with all my guns, all my ARs, And the 50 round fast mag, I use the fast mag because of course the faster reload time, and also 50 rounds because of the capacity. Now the only downgrade with this would be the aim down sight time, and it takes away 25% of it. So to counter that, I use the Airborne elastic wrap. This specific wrap helps with 30% added aim down sight time, also adds flinch resistance and aiming while going prone, which is just fancy for drop shotting. And really, to be honest, I don't really use any of these, to be honest. I don't care for the last two. I really just care about the aim down sight time, as it's pretty slow with this gun with that magazine. Now that I've talked about the Krig, let's get on to the next weapon. So for the next weapon, it would be the AK-47. Now why I choose this weapon? Simply because it does a heavy amount of damage, while at the same time maintaining a very well controllable recoil. So it's much easier to use than the AK in Modern Warfare because of the recoil control that you can put on it. Now, when it comes to the AK-47, I don't use an optic because the iron sights are just amazing. I love the iron sights on the AK, and I will always love the iron sights on the AK. Just too clean to waste a spot for. So I skip optics and I go to muzzle. For the muzzle, I use the KGB eliminator, as it mainly adds muzzle flash concealment and also vertical recoil control. I put it on because of 17% vertical recoil control, because this gun still has recoil. It's still an AK, but it's much more controllable after adding the KGB eliminator. Now for the barrel, I'm running the takedown barrel, simply because of that 150% effective damage range. Although you can run the VDV reinforced barrel, which gives you both effective damage range and bullet velocity. I would probably go for that if I were to be running this gun as a sidearm, or if I were to run this gun as a medium range. But because of the fact that I'm wanting to run this gun as far range as possible, I'll probably stick with the takedown. Of course, things can change through that. Now for the underbarrel, I'm running the Spetsnaz grip, simply because of the added recoil control. More vertical recoil control, which will help with overall accuracy. Same for horizontal recoil control. I'm running the VDV 50 round fast mags. As I said before, this is what I primarily use for all my ARs. And finally, to counter the aim down sight time penalties through all these attachments, I'm running the GRU elastic wrap. This obviously helps with the 30% aim down sight time reduction, which is awesome. Now that I've talked about the AK-47, let's get on to the next assault rifle. Now for this assault rifle is pretty unique. It's called the QBZ, and on this assault rifle, I'm running the Millstop Reflex. Of course, the iron sights on this gun are actually fairly clean to use, so if you're not into it, if you're not into using an optic, or if you want to have an extra attachment slot, you can get rid of that optic, as it does have pretty nice iron sights. Now for the barrel, I'm running the 15.5 inch takedown. Of course, this can be changed for the 15.5 inch reinforced heavy. It's really preference. I want to try out the effective damage range on this though, so that's why I go for this. I've been saying this over and over for the past two loadouts, so I'm not going to repeat myself over and over. I'm running the Field Agent grip now. It's same exact recoil control as before, the 50 round fast mags for the same exact reasons, and the Airborne elastic wrap for the same exact reasons. Just note this right now, the underbarrel magazine and handle, same with the barrel kind of, will stay the same for all the assault rifles, so just keep that in mind. I don't really want to repeat myself over and over again. And now for the final assault rifle on this list, it would be none other than the XM4. Now, although this doesn't match to the Krig 6, in my opinion at least, it's still a great assault rifle to use, and for the XM4, what I've seen to be the best would be the Microflex LED optic. Then for the muzzle, I'm running the SOCOM eliminator for that recoil. Then for the barrel, I'm running the takedown barrel, same exact reasons as before. Then the underbarrel is the same field agent grip, and the magazine is the 50 round fast mags. Now if you're into the iron sights of this gun, or if you're willing to use this as a medium to short range assault rifle in Warzone, I would recommend you switch out the optic for the airborne elastic wrap, as it does help with the aim down sight time and how fast you can snap onto targets. But because I'll primarily be using this gun as a primary weapon, I won't be worrying about how quick I lock onto enemies yet, if you understand what I mean. So yeah, that was the final assault rifle. Now let's get on to the final gun on the list. Now this final gun would be none other than the Barrett M82 sniper rifle. Now comparison wise to the other sniper rifles, the other two are the Pelington 703 and the LW3 Tundra. Why I choose this over them is, for example, the Pelington. I really don't like the Pelington because there's just too much hit markers with it. I don't know what it is. Even when I aim upper torso, it still just it doesn't give me one-shot headshot or one-shot killing potential. So I just completely trashed that gun. The LW3 Tundra, I guess it's okay, but the reason why I choose the M82 over it is it's just the M82 is literally just a semi-automatic version of the LW3, meaning I can fire 2 bullets for the price of 1, really. So 1 bullet out of the Tundra will be 2 bullets out of the M82. It's much faster, and also with the attachments that I put on, well, it's going to be much quicker. Now for the optic I'm using, it's the Vulture Custom Zoom. This specific one allows you to get into 10 times zoom, I believe. Yeah, 10 times, and you can move between 1 times and 10 times. So if you're trying to quick scope people up close, you can switch to the 1 times, and if you're trying to get someone really far, you can switch to the 10 times. That's the beauty of the sight. I skipped muzzle because really none of these help this gun as much as it really needs to. For the barrel, I'm running the 22.6 inch Tiger Team. This is possibly the best barrel in the game, at least, because it adds damage, meaning your killing power will be much easier. It's now going to be more than 1-shot kill, if you know what I mean. Then for the fire rate, it goes up by 18%, making it much quicker fire rate, and then the bullet velocity also goes up, meaning that you'll be able to put your bullets on the enemy way quicker than you originally would have. This barrel is absolutely insane, and I swear this barrel is just so crisp and beautiful. Now finally, or not really finally, but the magazine I'm running is the 9-round fast mags, mainly because of the potential of quick reload speed, and on top of that, it's 9 rounds. It's much more than the original, I believe. How many rounds? 5 rounds? I'm not sure. But it's more capacity, which helps. And then I'm also running the Airborne elastic wrap for the aim down sight time. Really, that's all. And finally, the stock I'm running is the Raider pad. I run this for the speed. There really isn't much speed with sniper rifles, and the sprint to fire time and the aim walking move speed does actually help a little bit through time. And also there really isn't any other helpful attachment in the other 3 categories, so just sticking with the stock is best for this gun. Nonetheless, those are my 5 best possible meta changing weapons. Of course, this can change. I might make an update video before December 10th, but that's really only if my mind changes. Now, if you enjoyed the video, make sure to like it, as it is very much appreciated. And on top of that, if you are interested in Call of Duty news, strategies, and tips and tricks, make sure to subscribe with post notifications on so you don't miss out on any new content that I drop consistent of that. Nonetheless, thank you once more for watching, and hopefully I'll catch you on the next video. Peace out.